Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but have you ever considered becoming a Godpreneur? Jeff Richfield is going to cover how you too can become a millionaire in a very unusual way. And what's so special about Jeff Richfield is that he's an entrepreneur, business owner, investor, and he knows a lot about the spiritual side of wealth. The first question I have is, what is the secret to your success? And does it have anything to do with learning how to become a Godpreneur?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu, mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Wow, that's an amazing intro, and we're so thankful to be on your show. And I'm out here in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA, of course, and all the way from England. This is a good connection. So yes, I am known as a Godpreneur. A Godpreneur is simply my DNA. My DNA is my divine natural assignment, which is by God. I am a person who lives from the heart. Okay. I see in the spirit and I am filled with the spirit. So when I decide and as I do business with people, I think about the spiritual aspect of life. Why are we here? And how does that manifest itself to material of wealth? So an example for that I can explain, but I'm so grateful to be on the show, and I've scaled many businesses, and I'm actually here at the W Hotel in Nashville. It's a beautiful place. Have you ever been to Music City, USA?
No.
You'll have to come out and enjoy it. People come here and they don't like to leave because it's like family. So, yeah. I can give a little background on myself if you'd like. Sure. Basically, I'm 61 years old and basically have started many businesses. When I grew up as a kid in Pennsylvania, I lived on a big farm. And our names mean a lot. Our names carry legacy in them. And Jeff means God's peace. And then, of course, Richfield is my last name. But I have a 120-acre farm, and I'm living my life on purpose. What I'm doing with my land is we're building a legacy for kids and teenagers and 20-something-year-olds to have a purpose in their life. Because many of them today are stuck on the iPhone, scrolling. So we decided after I sold my roofing company, Music City Roofers, that we would start something bigger than life. And so this is a dream I've had since I was a child, to have a big retreat center and a place where mentors come and mentorship classes for kids that don't have fathers or mothers. So it's an exciting dream. You know, you never really retire in life. You just grow from one level to another level, right? I'm never going to stop using my expertise and my ability to teach people and pour myself into their lives because I'm a Godpreneur, and that's somebody who cares for others. It's the golden rule, right? You do unto others as you would do to yourself. But the only difference with a Godpreneur is it's selfless service, number one, because the aspects that I realize of love, there's 4 foundations of love, and that's passion, purpose, commitment, and sacrifice. And the greatest is sacrifice. No greater love than he who lays down his life for his friend, right? And so if we lay our lives down, that means serving one another with love. So I love to just pour into people's lives to see what their need is so that I can fill that need. And the greater we can build somebody else's need, then the greater success that you'll have in life. So my whole aspect is about character. I wrote a book called Eyes Wide Open, and it's about character is the new bottom line. There you go. So the new bottom line is character, because without that, you can't really grow a good business, right?
Okay, so tell us how becoming a Godpreneur can lead us onto becoming a millionaire, aside from what you just said.
Yes, excellent. So part of that love aspect of being in business is compassion. The compassion is what fuels me to serve, right? And inspiration. You have to have those two together. You can't wake up, and I love to get up at 4:30 in the morning. And what I do when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning is I go and I pray for an hour. I read the Bible. The book of Proverbs has been key to me. There's 31 Proverbs in that book because there's 31 days per month. And so if you read one a day, you're going to keep reading them 30 times, 30 times, 30 times, right? Now, I've been doing that for 20 years. And so there's wisdom there. There's insight. There's knowledge. There's prudence. And there's skills that you can learn. Because the spiritual aspect is what brings life. Because remember, God breathed life into Adam and Eve, right? We're not robots. We're not mechanics. But we do have spirit, mind, body, and soul. And so I like to use those elements as I create businesses. When I first started Music City Roofers, it was birthed in prayer. I was on my knees. I remember the day it happened. And I was doing a trading. I was a Forex trader and a crypto trader. And I got tired of doing the trading at night. And so I prayed. And I said, God, what would you have me do now? I don't want to be up at night trading. And I looked up and I saw a billboard that said roofers for hire. And when I saw that, the Holy Spirit in me clicked and said, call. And the Holy Spirit brings truth. That's his job. And so I basically called the number. I got hired the same day. That's how I started my company. I worked for somebody else. I didn't like how he did business. I asked my wife about it. She said, just start your own company. So I thought about it. I prayed about it. And I thought, Music City Roofers. Nobody's got that name. Wow, that's a great brand. So I got Music City Roofers, and I scaled it from 0 to 20 million. And I had 35 employees over 10 years. And each year wasn't so easy, right? I had some stumbling. I had some circumstances. People stole from me. You know, we lost some money and different things, but I learned how to exercise wisdom through the book of Proverbs and having mentors. So mentorship was important, right? And everybody needs a coach, right? Coaches are great for business.
Thank you. So what would you say was the most exciting, most impactful thing that you have done that enabled you to become a millionaire? And how can entrepreneurs leverage that so they can also do it?
Every year I would, in fact, this year again, I have a calendar and I write down affirmations and declarations and proclamations. I've done that every year, and I look back and I declare things that are not as though they are. So I'll speak out, $1 million is coming to me in revenue in the next month, right? And I may not see that right away, but I do in small steps, okay? So I have a diatribe of these now over 30 years. I've been doing this. And I've learned that as I speak out the word, it actually brings material life to it. Our words have power, right? They bring life or death. So I got to be careful with what I speak, even when you're having fun. You got to be careful what you say, because it can lash back at you. But I believe the power of the word is number one. First, it comes with wisdom and prayer, and then mindset, and then declaring it out loud, okay? And then its fourth is application and action. So without that, you have nothing. But those actions and steps come from the thoughts and the processes of prayer and mindset, right? And so the clarity of the mind is so huge in business, because if you have bad days more than you have good days, it's not going to be as achievable, okay? Everybody gets hit with circumstance. I mean, I have never been bankrupt, but I've had bad credit. But you have to go through these things to learn the experience of it. And that pain that you suffer is what brings obedience, right? It brings that right. So how do you get the $1 million? You have to love on people. You have to build a good team and serve them well. And for me, leadership starts with service first. It's called servant leadership. And I'd love to have anybody who wants to come out or call me. They can, and I can give them some pointers and skills. If you're building a business and you're going through some hardships and you haven't reached $1 million yet, or you want to retire and sell your company, you can speak to me, because I scale and sell companies now. Since I sold Music City Roofers, now I'm doing mergers and acquisitions for other roof companies, and I take them to the private equity firms, the family offices, those with extreme wealth, and we just make a deal. And that's what's fun about this. It's exciting once you learn how to make money. And remember, your relationship with money is very important too, right? If you don't have a good relationship with wealth, then it's hard to achieve that higher goals. It's been an amazing ride.
Thank you. What do you suggest to entrepreneurs who are driven, motivated, are feeling, you can say, their spirit, kind of coming alive when they are thinking about making their mission come alive, and seeing things are happening and attracting amazing opportunities, but then tripping up at the last second because of health issues or self-sabotage or negative criticism?
Yes, great question. The first thing is always get a mentor who's done what you've done, and try to become a friend of a mentor by maybe seeing his posts or his company or her company, and then writing him an email or send a letter. Actually, I like to write a snail mail, regular letter, and give an honoring point about his company that you admire. Just a gratefulness, thankfulness thing. And, maybe they would give you a call back, become a friend of a mentor, number one, so that when you do go through hardships, you have somebody you can call and lean on. Remember, we're as wealthy as our 5 closest friends that we have. So you want to build a good team of friends that have done it before, and that you can meet with them on a weekly basis. It's important, right, to have that coach in your life. So when you go through a tragedy or a health crisis like me, I had a stroke 8 years ago, okay? When I had the stroke, it was only for a day that I was in a hospital, but I thought, wow, my life could be over in a blink of an eye. So for me now, every breath I take matters much more, because I've almost tasted death. But how I overcame that, I think it was God's hand, because I could be on crutches, but I'm not. I still feel like I'm 25, but I'm 61. And I bet you I could still outrun any of you out there. I'm a fast guy on track. So yeah, if you go through suffering, you have to remember now to build yourself up with exercise and eating well. So since I had the stroke, I went through many body hacks. I developed some powerful products that you can find. We now have a smart coffee we just got developed, and it's just come out this year. So if you go to therealrxsmartcoffee.com, you can see our brand, and it's a healing coffee. So it's for men, it helps men's prostate. For women, it helps their libido and hot flashes. Then we have a heart smart coffee. Then we have a brain coffee, and we have a gut check coffee. These are all healing remedies, herbs inside the coffee. And we're so proud of that. And nobody else I've seen has it on the market. And then I have a virus product that's for coughing and things like that. So I can keep other people healthy now that I've been through that stuff.
Thank you. What is the best way for entrepreneurs who are already, let's say, on their way to making multi-millions to kind of continue on that journey and not get disappointed with, different obstacles that may come to them, such as, getting scammed or having, stuff stolen from you, or, these kind of things that can happen?
Wow. Well, the reasons why we get scammed or we lose, say, we make a bad decision, it's going to be one of 4 things. So you got to either it's ignorance, where you haven't developed enough wisdom, or it could be sometimes the world is just a bad place and people are out there to take advantage of you. I call that darkness, spirit of darkness, or evil, if you will. So ignorance, there's lack of discernment. Having a good spiritual discernment is a good key to, make right decisions. So that's why I always read books. At least I read one a month. The last book that I'm reading now is called The Prayer of Jabez. The Prayer of Jabez was a milestone in my life. I don't know if you ever read that, but that's a wealth building book. It's so short. It's a one-day read. The Prayer of Jabez is from 2nd Chronicles. It says, Lord, I pray that you would expand my horizon, my tent pegs, and that I would cause no one any harm. But there's something in that little prayer phrase that's important. It's about abundance. And so God blessed him, and it doesn't say anything else about him in the Bible, but that book went on to be a $1 million seller. And then another one is about making best use of your time. So time management is critical, of course, if you want to use your time wisely. So I have a specific calendar that I love to use. It's broken into 5 columns because I have 5 funnels. So every day I can see exactly what I have to do for each of the 5 companies on one piece of paper. That's pretty cool. It's broken down into 12-hour segments too. Then I use a journal in the morning. It's called The Best Journal Ever, and you can get that at Amazon. I love that one because it talks about gratitude, and then it has your to-dos and your goals for the day. It's real short and brief, and a nice quote from Tony Robbins or somebody like that. It's very inspirational. So keeping that mindset is critical, right? So the day before the day is when you plan your next day. So I'll plan my tomorrow tonight, of course. But then we have to go through our mental facility when we go to bed. Are you meditating, right? What are you feeding your body and your mind is what's going to come out in the end.
Thank you. What is the best way to overcome self-doubt aside from getting a mentor?
Overcoming self-doubt, I have some times where I've had a loss. And just recently, I had made an investment for $150,000 for a festival. Now, I am a roof guy and a cryptocurrency trader, and we develop crypto systems. But I'm also a musician. When I was in the 80s, I toured with Aerosmith, Def Leppard, and Iron Maiden, and we played warm-up for them. So I always love music. So there's a guy in Nashville who does festivals, okay? And I always wanted to invest in a festival. And so I did that in July. I wound up losing the money because the expenses were over the top. And I trusted this other fellow that I thought he knew what he was doing. That was my part, ignorance, right? Lack of discernment. I didn't look at the books and the accounting. I trusted him because he did it for 8 years, and I figured he knows what he's talking about. So we had Master P come play and Bootsy. It was a big rap show, and I wound up losing my butt on that one. Now he's going to pay me back. And there were times, though, where I thought, I'm going to lose a friend over this. He's not going to pay me back. I started thinking, maybe I got to sue him. I don't know what's going to happen. So what happened is I wound up finding a way that he could get a loan to pay me back. So that just happened. I think that was another God thing in my life because it just fell in my lap one day. This company that's funding corporations up to $250,000 at 0%, they came into my life, and now I'm helping people get funded in business with 0% up to $250,000. And all you need is 2 months of business bank statements. I don't know if it happens in England, but in America, you can get that.
Thank you. What's the best way to overcome temporary setbacks? For example, every time I organize an event of 200 people, 600 people, whatever it is, I find that I get ill every time. And I deliver, but it's really with so much struggle. And I really wish I knew of a way to kind of like instantly become Superwoman the night before and the day of, in a way that I'm not only able to deliver, but also to kind of be my best self. And I'm never that person. So I wonder what you suggest to become that person.
That's really amazing. Thanks for being so transparent, because that's important. So you have to look at your life. What are you doing? Is it your allergies, or is it something in the house? Like must be some reason. I don't think you're getting sick because of the event. Maybe it's this reoccurring thing, but I'm going to pray that goes away, and I seen God make healing happen on purpose. So whoever's out there who may be getting sick or having some sort of spiritual struggle or attitude or just can't function, I pray the God of glory would shine in your face, that he would remove those barriers and set you free. That's what a Godpreneur does. He's unashamed to pray for people because he knows spirit power works. So you are the light of the world, all right? And you are the salt of the earth. And if you don't do what you do, who else can do it? And so I inspire you to get out there and do your best, win the game that you're in. Always take your vitamins, of course, right? Supplements. But that's why I made this virus powder that you can drink in hot water, and it clears up sinus problems, stops coughing. Of course, I'm exercising every day too. It's going in the sauna, infrared sauna, and whenever I can. But you know what? A healthy body, healthy mind, got to keep that going, right? Things come up that might get in your way, but give Jeff a call and we'll push that away.
Thank you. What are the top ways for entrepreneurs to become millionaires, aside from everything you've just said?
Come up with a unique idea that nobody else has done. Think about the squatty potty, right? That little plastic stool. Millions of dollars on a piece of plastic. Come on. There's so many good ideas out there yet to be born. Think about Shark Tank and all those people who come in and do those amazing inventions. And it inspires you, doesn't it, when you watch that and you go, gosh, if they could do it, I can do it. So I made a shirt that says, if I can, you can. And that's inspiring. But remember the smiley face, that yellow face with the smile, how much money they made on that little thing? And I just spoke to a guy today who took that smiley face and put it on his van called Hiller Plumbing. They have a smiley face as their logo. I don't know how they got away with that, but it's about the unique, innovative ideas. Fill the hole that's needed to be filled. Do something unique and different, or something that somebody else is doing, but do it better than they are, right? but you don't want to do it in a way that takes away from others. Like I know one roof company that came to town and they tried to snatch all the salesmen of the other companies. So it's not good to do that. That's a back way to do that, right? You don't want to go through the back door to go to the front door. And so I would just say, work ethically, have integrity, read your book of Proverbs, get on your knees, right? Get on your knees, because we're spiritual creatures having a human experience, not human creatures having a spiritual experience. So it starts for me in the spirit first. That's why I'm called the Godpreneur guy.
Thank you. Why is that connection with prayer and spirituality so important in terms of helping you to become a millionaire?
Because number one, if we're born of the spirit, then we have to apply spiritual principles. Money is really a currency of love and relationship. Money doesn't fall out of heaven. Guess where it comes from? It comes from people like you and me. God sends men and women into our lives to help each other. They're called destiny helpers or burden bearers, because the truth is we're all one person away from our next level up. Okay? It's like if you knew the president of the United States or another president of your place, then you would be maybe an extra level up, because maybe they need you for something. But always be on your game and keep reading books, like I said. But the spiritual mindset for me has been the game changer in my life. When I didn't have it, I was not as successful. And when I got born in the spirit, which means that I accepted God in my life in a way that only he can change me and I can't. And I have to realize I can't change people. I can only serve them, and I can change myself. But if I try to change my wife, she's going to kick me out of the house. that ain't going to happen. So the spiritual practices are huge, because then it also takes away your anxiety, your worry, your fears, right? And it gives you a better sense of trust that there is a God of a universe out there, and he created humans to have pleasure, number one, and have prosperity, and to have power, the 3 Ps. Okay? Pleasure, prosperity, and power. He doesn't want us to be broke and weak and frail. Okay? I'm a warrior for him. I get out there, I get it done in a good way. Not with a sword and a spear, but with the spirit of the word. Does that make sense?
Yes. How do you elevate your frequency of love aside from prayer?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question, right? So we all have frequency. We all have sound waves, right? Even my voice, even my DNA is this frequency. And so if I'm in a place where there's a dark frequency, my spirit can sense that, right? And so I have to get back in tune. If I'm feeling anxious like I was this morning, I actually have a music that I'll turn on YouTube that is one of my favorites, and it's called The Wealth Builder, and it's by Joshua Mills. You can look him up on YouTube, go to Joshua Mills and put in prosperity, and it's an hour long of background music with affirmations of wealth. Very good. I tried it this morning in the car, and I actually changed the negative frequency to positive. Thank you for asking that. That just happened this morning to me.
Wow, amazing. Tell us where entrepreneurs can find you.
Well, my website is jeffrichfield.com. Pretty simple. JEFF, that means God's peace, and then Richfield, or ICHFIELD.com. It's basically all in. If you're all in with me, I'd love to coach you. You can go there and send me a request, and I'll give you a free hour and talk with you about your need, your pains, your desires. We'll go a flow chart. We'll map out your goals for the next year, 2025. Did you know 2025 means the year of Jubilee? Jubilee means freedom from debt. All right. Lands be given back. Slaves be set free. It was an old term in the Old Testament where they would renew and reset every 50 years debt. And I believe that's coming up next year. I really believe 2025 is going to come alive, and wealth is on the way for you.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.